Chief, welcome to Dallas. We're
Thank
happy
you.
to have you here. On his first day as Dallas Police Chief, former Houston DEA head Daniel Comeaux says hiring 900 officers mandated by a voter-approved ballot measure is a priority.
Look, I'm going to do my very best to meet it. We're working already on different strategies, the requirements, different ways that we can bring officers in.
But he would not say whether he agreed with the so-called hero amendments. Do you think it's a reasonable mandate?
It's an introductory interview, so we're more or less getting to know him, talking about his first day, things of that sort.
That's a DPD spokesperson jumping in. We asked again, and again, a spokesperson interrupted. You're not going to answer that question.
I'm telling you he's not going to answer that question.
All right, let's talk about response times. City of Dallas has had issues with response times. It's nearly 12 minutes for priority 1 calls. It's 4 hours for priority 3 calls. Is that acceptable?
Mr. Sullivan, this is an introductory email or an introductory interview, so give him a chance to get here, see how things are going.
It is frustrating, definitely.
Luke Ramsey knows firsthand how it's going. He says a burglar broke in the weekend before last and practically cleaned him out.
A bunch of my pots and pans. They took a lot of my food.
They took your pots and pans and food?
Yeah, like a bunch of my food.
He says he called 911 and waited for an officer to come take a report.
No one ever showed up.
Ramsey says he's dealt with slow DPD response times before and hopes the new chief fixes them.
I mean, it should be pretty high on the priority list, in my opinion. I mean, never showing up is kind of ridiculous.
Comeaux did answer questions about community policing, department culture, and violent crime. Do you think that the way the city's been doing things is working?
It's definitely working. It shows by statistics that the city is trending in a downward way.
But his staff also stopped him from talking about immigration. Here's all he would say.
Look, we're going to treat everybody fairly. Everybody is important. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what gender you are.
Chief Comeaux told me he could make changes to the Dallas PD command staff, and he says he'll prioritize keeping people who work hard. We posted our full interview with the chief online, and Chris, you can watch on WFAA+.
I was just a little taken aback just because, you know, this process has been going on for 5 months. Yeah, but, you know, so you've become a finalist, you've come in for interviews, you've talked about these topics with city council members. So I'm just wondering why the communication staff felt the need to continuously jump in to say, don't ask that, don't ask that, don't ask that.
He's answered some of these questions in the interview process before. Of course, it's our job to ask questions, his prerogative to decide whether to answer.
All right, well, these questions aren't going to go away, so I'm sure at some point we'll get some answers. All right, thanks a lot, Cole.